What's up, guys? This podcast is sponsored by Yak Attack, and that's yakattack.us. What Yak Attack is the leader in the kayak fishing industry who specializes in kayak fishing rigging solutions. As kayak anglers themselves, they are tightly integrated into the sport of kayak fishing and are acutely aware of what the community needs. It all starts out with the gear track and or the Mighty Mount. The gear track comes in all different sizes and colors, and with the screwball that attaches to it, you can attach everything to it. So you got a simple little attachment that goes on your boat, screwball with the T-bolt that goes on the bottom attaches to that, and everything attaches to it. And that is a variety of rod holders and camera mounts for your still cameras and your GoPros, the light poles with day flags that folds into the flags, fish finder mounts, and the black pack crate system. All of Yak Attack's products are made in the USA. A few years ago, Yak Attack set the gold standard in kayak visibility with the VisiCarbon Pro. Fast forward to today, and it remains the most dependable light flag combo in the industry. The 48-inch deployed height gets the flag up to, and the light up to where it can be seen, and the 14-inch collapse length allows it to be stowed away for easy use. The high visibility flag doubles as a pouch, making it easy to pack away and store. The expectant lamp life of 10,000 plus hours on the ultra bright, high efficient LEDs, and at least 100 hours from the 3 AA batteries that are included. The carbon fiber mast is strong and lightweight, and the narrow profile offers low wind drag. The soft foam keeps it afloat when it goes in, if it goes into the water, and it also fits in most rod holders. Available in an array of mounting options that fits in just about all boats and popular mounts. Don't compromise with safety. Depend on what tens of thousands of paddlers trust. There is only one VisiCarbon Pro at yakattack.us. This podcast is also sponsored by Ocean Kayak, oceankayak.com. I've been riding Ocean Kayak the entire 15 years I've been riding a kayak. I've done everything in an Ocean Kayak. All of my tours, all of my fishing has been in an Ocean Kayak. I've trusted my life in them. I have full confidence when I'm in these boats they're going to perform right for me. I know the feel of them. I know what I can do in them. And that gives me the full confidence to take on anything. And everything's been thrown at me in an Ocean Kayak. And this tournament we're going to be talking about is a prime example of things being thrown at you. Me and Jean were both using Ocean Kayaks, of course. She was using the classic line of Ocean Kayaks and using the Prowler 13 angler. That thing was fast, agile, it was super lightweight when going. You'll hear about what we had to go through. At 56 pounds, it was the right one for the tournament. For her, it was awesome. I was using my brand new boat, the Ultra 4.3, aka my Sexy Ginger. And you just can't stop me in that boat. I have full confidence in that boat too. It's super fast. It's a cutter, cuts through the water, wind resistant. We had 25. You'll hear about it. We had 25 mile-an-hour winds, and both of us were basically unaffected by those winds. It was awesome. You check out, if you want to check out what the other Ocean Kayak pros are doing with their Ocean Kayaks. Check out adventureonthewater.com, and of course check out the boats at oceankayak.com. This podcast is also sponsored by my DVDs at kayakkevin.com. The Kayak Fishing the Chesapeake Bay series and the Bay Tour DVD. The kayak fishing DVDs are broken up into a trilogy. Number 1 is an intro into the fishery, has a full year's worth of footage with more of the larger fish in the lower Chesapeake Bay. It has a lot of tips on it, kind of shows a lot of stuff. But the instructional sequels are broken up into 2 parts. The warm water species and the cold water species. The number 2 is the warm water species, with detailed instruction on the rigs and the fishery itself, spanning from the red drum at the shoals, flounder, and the summer species at the bridge, sight casting, the red drum, and striper. Number 3 is the cold water species, with detailed instruction on the winter targets, tautog, and the eastern shore striper fishery. The Chesapeake Bay Tour DVD is a 6-week, 600-mile tour I did in 2010 around the Chesapeake Bay, filmed in kind of a Survivor Man style, showing everything I do and look for when I'm on a long-distance tour. All of these DVDs are available at kayakkevin.com. So check out Yak Attack at yakattack.us, Ocean Kayak at oceankayak.com, and my DVDs at kayakkevin.com. Not gonna watch it over there, are you? Alright. Alrighty. This is podcast number 49. It is April 8th, 2015. We've got Irish Jean McElroy, aka Snake Queen from Florida. And we got Lee. And we did a tournament this past weekend in Louisiana, in Delacroix, Louisiana. And it was unlike a tournament that anybody has ever done before, or unless but you've done 3 of them. Okay.
That was my 3rd one.
This is your 3rd one. It's called the Adventure Fishing World Championships, and it's teams. So it's teams of 2, and it's I guess down in a nutshell what it is you have checkpoints. You have to navigate to these checkpoints, catch fish, give your token back to the checkpoint, paddle to the next checkpoint, and accumulate as many inches with 1 fish per checkpoint as you can in the day. So that is like the nutshell of it. But it's way more. We'll get into how awesome this was once we started getting into it. But me and Jean's Ocean Kayak pro staffer. I met her. It was 2011, I think it was. Yeah, at the dealer conference, and we were in Stone Mountain, Georgia, and that's where I met her. And I caught my first bass with Jean, and then I caught my second bass with Jean. 4 years later, this
You were thrilled with that bass.
Say again?
You were thrilled with that bass.
It was a decent one. It was like a 15, 16 incher. No, I was bigger than that.
No. The first one.
Oh, the first one. Yeah, the first one was a 12 incher, and I was stoked with it. Yeah. But actually, if you can see the drums behind Jean over here, she was a drummer. So when we first met, it was like she was a drummer. I was a guitar player, so that was kind of cool. That we immediately got along because of the music background, not only but fishing wise. But
I don't play them so often anymore. I'd rather be fishing all the time. Well, get rid of them. Make it bigger.
I still have my stuff. Yours is set up. My stuff's not even set up anymore.
I'd feel guilty if I tore it down. So.
All right, so she's done 2 of these tournaments, and the first one was in where were they?
Chuckalowski was the first one. And the second one was in Flamingo, and that's in the Everglades. The Chuckalowski is the western side of the Everglades, and then Flamingo's in more of the eastern side. Yeah,
but still in the Everglades, and still in that environment.
Yes.
And you did both of them. Who was your partners in that one?
Ron DeVore was my partner in the first one.
Okay.
And yeah, that was the first time experiencing it, so it was quite a challenge, and we did have a ton of wind to address across the Chuckalowski Bay. That was brutal. But we came in second to last, but the feeling of accomplishment of actually getting in was still, it gives you a high. You're just like, wow.
That's what this tournament is it's more of an accomplishment thing. Because 50 people in this one, 50 teams entered, only 30 qualified. You had to qualify with 3 checkpoints, right? 3 fish at 3 checkpoints. You had to qualify with that. Was the minimum, and only 30 did it. So I mean, and at the awards, you know how the awards you would just do maybe top 10. I mean, they named out everybody who qualified. That's the type of thing is like if you even make it,
right? Yeah.
Yeah. So that was that. So yeah. You guys didn't.
And I believe the qualifying is actually hitting 3 of the checkpoints out of whatever amount of checkpoints. I think 5, and last year was 4 because they had to cut one out due to time. So yeah, that's another story.
Yeah. So obviously you see the trend of where they do them is maze-like. It's got to have a maze, right? It's got to have
feel like the wild. It's got to feel natural wildness. Yeah. That's what I think.
Yeah, and where they've done it so far is Everglades twice, and then this place in the middle of nowhere. I mean, the end of the road type of thing. And so that was. Try to get that right. There we go. That was So that's where they're doing it, And So I got a chance to do it. I've been wanting to do this since it started. I wanted to do the first one, but I never could get it, get down there to it. Then the second one, and now this one I had an opportunity to. So,
right.
So yeah, so you knew I was stoked on it.
Yeah. I mean, and actually, at the beginning of the year, when we thought I was going to be able to split my vacation, I was thinking about teaming up with someone. Yeah.
So me and
I got him as my teammate, not you.
That's right. I'd have been stuck with like Billy or Massini could fish with his little partner Andy.
They did good though. I mean, everybody qualified. Everybody qualified. Yeah,
Joe,
all the Virginia people.
We're gonna tomorrow night we're gonna we'll have Billy here. Hopefully, I don't know. He's out bass fishing all the time. God knows.
Yeah, but tomorrow night we're having Billy here, Rogalski here, and we're having Massini on Skype. So we're gonna talk about. What's that?
They kicked butt. They really did well.
Yeah. And they had an interesting day. They had a mud crawl and all that stuff. So it's a whole. Yeah, they got a whole nother story that's gonna be. So
if you wait like 2 seconds after we stop talking, it'll come clear the first time.
Okay.
It's hard, but it's something we're trying to learn too.
Okay.
All right, so
did you announce that it's number 49?
Yeah, I already did that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're right at the beginning. So I get an opportunity to get down there. So I'm riding down there with Rogalski and Massini. I'll talk about that. That's tomorrow. I'm just going to talk about that.
Yeah.
So wake up on Friday morning, and we hired a charter. We hired a charter for that morning, and it was for 8 o'clock, and I was like, I can't do 8. I can't even, I've been in a car. I don't even want to move. I just want to, stay still for, in the morning. Right. So we pushed it back till 10 o'clock, which was awesome. And all we needed was just a look. We needed just a little bit of local knowledge and just an eyeball on the spot, on a boat, and that type of thing. And we got some good information, deeper water, we just got a good lay of the land. For me, I was cool. As soon as I came back from that, I was good. I had the lay of the land. I could see everything. It was good. I came back. I was like, I can paddle anywhere out here. This is no problem. All that was no problem. What did you get out of the guide?
Yeah. Kind of the same thing. Just see beyond that one area of grass and to get a better idea of the flats, and it was fantastic. I mean, having the guide really helped a lot. We weren't fishing. He just took us out for a tour, basically.
Yeah. We didn't even cast. I mean, we made a few casts, but we just
the bass.
No, this was later. Yeah, we just made a few casts just to cast around, but we didn't even catch anything on the guide. It took us out for an hour and a half. We just ran up these channels and just.
You just wanted to look around.
I wanted to see before I paddle out on this thing.
Right.
I wanted to get a big wide, and we were trying to see the perimeter, and because we got this. And this is where we launched from. I'm going to put this map up on, I'm going to, put it in on the edit. But yeah, this is the map. And so we went out here and just kind of went around this area just like this. So this whole giant area could be anywhere the checkpoints could be. We didn't know until that morning.
They're in a row though, I assume.
No. I mean, they do it where you can do it in a run. But
you have to know.
But the conditions are different from it. It just set it up. But it's.
I mean, if the wind's blowing and it's low tide, and there might not be water somewhere, you know what I mean, in a certain area.
We're gonna get to that shit. I haven't even told him nothing yet. See, he already knows my ass, right? He already. All right, so we come back, and then we have the afternoon, so we're gonna go pre-fishing, which is cool because I just want to get out there. And it was nice. We just paddled out, just not far. I mean, right here. We just went right in this little area right here. And I saw the crab pot buoy, so I was comfortable. I was like, okay, I got deeper water here. Jean and her boyfriend Tony are real comfortable in the shallow waters. Like, I'm talking like 6 inches shallow. I mean, it was like no water. But I was good in this deeper water. Now, you guys were seeing them. That was weird about, because I can sight cast my waters here like X-ray vision, right? there it was a little muddy, not muddy, but it was like not thick mud, but it was just a haze of brown in it, right?
So is it that tainted water, like
not red? This is more like river mix.
Yeah.
The water tasted almost fresh.
Like tannic.
No, not tannic.
You mean like Mississippi mud?
Yeah, Mississippi, it was like river mud, not tannic, like red, like reddish water, like kind of Mississippi. And I tasted it was hardly any salt water in it. I mean, hardly any salt water in it. I know. So when I stood up, when the wind was blowing and I couldn't get secured, I didn't bring anchor and didn't bring anything like that. So when I was stood up, I just couldn't see well. I couldn't see in that water well. The ripples I couldn't see well. But I guess you guys were pulling off and the fish were coming around and you were able to see it that way. And right off the bat, Tony catches like a 26, 28 inch or somewhere in that range, right?
That was a nice size.
Yeah. So immediately we see, okay, that's a good size. And then later on, that is kind of the size, the bigger size that's in there. I mean, before you find out that the maximum size that we're caught that day were in a 28 inch range. But so yeah, and then so I go in this, I bump up against the shoreline in a deep spot where there's crab pots and stuff, and I'm making my cast, and I have one run and it takes off, and then I hook the bass. So that's my first fish of the year, and of course the second fish, and fishing with Gene, bass. It was nice. It was nice, and that's what I was using. The spinny dinghy from the trout, and what is this, new penny with a chartreuse tail. That's like my go-to around here, and that's what I was using in that spot. I think I was using a pink one also. But so then I catch a bass, and I got my feet in the water. Just like the thing is, I'm comfortable here, right?
Right.
It looks like any marsh I've ever been in the East Coast anywhere. It feels like a home, right? It feels like a home. The water's a little different, the grass is a little different. I just caught a bass, which is a lot different. So I'm taking the pictures, got the fish in the water on the boat grip to keep them good, and taking my self portraits, and I let them go with my feet in the water.
Live baiting.
I make a cast. And I'm like, I want to change my position, so I just use my legs to inch up the shoreline, and 15 yards ahead of me is the 10-footer's head. A 10-foot gator's head just looking at me. And I'm like, oh wow, that's right. I'm in the land of monsters, dinosaurs and giant seawalls and houses that are on 20-foot stilts.
Says the feedback is a little weird, but
yeah.
Other than that,
you have a picture of it?
No, it's the feedback. He said feedback's a little weird, so I'm gonna. Oops, shit, can't do that. All right. So, yeah. So there's a gator there, and so the whole rest of the time, as long as I can see his head, I'm all right. I keep kind of casting around, and I leave, and I actually come back to that spot and catch a red there. But yeah, the whole rest of the time, I'm putting my legs in the water just naturally, and you're going, legs. I'm like, oh yeah. And I'm in the deeper holes where I'm fishing is where those gators are hanging out. So yeah. So yeah, and then I try to come over to you. You say a whole bunch of reds, and I'm not seeing them, and it's shallow as fuck, man. I'm like, fuck this. I'm going back to this hole over here, and so I can't catch a red yet. I'm using an inline spinner. That's not working. I'm trying to roll it over the grasses and stuff, and that's not working. So I use this one again and let it drop down and go back to what I do here, jigging. A jigging motion, bouncing it, but this is ripping it through. So like what Drew said when he was in here, ripping it through the grass is a good action thing, and that's remember we learned something off of Drew that day. Yeah. So I did anyway. So I just did it that way, and I mean ripping it like I was setting hook every time. As soon as I let it drop, I feel the grass, and I put the hand on the butt of the rod, and just rip it through, and that's how I hooked my first one. So I was like, okay, I got my technique. And if I find this long grass, then I know where they're at. They're in deeper water. And I found my spots where I felt extremely comfortable about catching them. And you guys are still in the deep, shallow water hooking up to them too. Yeah.
And that was consistent for you. That's the way you did it, the way you normally at home.
Yep.
And same thing with me. I tried to go a step out of my bounds, and I was like, this isn't working for me. So I went right back to, what I used to.
Yeah, and it works, And in fact, when I went out, I had just both of these hooked on to both my rods. I didn't even have a different lure on my rod. I had both of the same in case one messed up. I had another one to grab. That's how confident I was with these confidence baits all the way. All right, so. Yeah, we paddle in, feeling good. You know, wake up in the morning and it's what? Any questions on there? So, what was that one? That was just audio.
No, yeah, that was Shane and audio. I am not.
Good to go.
Leave it alone, Lee.
All right. So, just a whole shit ton of memes on there.
There was. Oh, yeah. Somebody, Max earlier wanted to know why you're not a fan of Monty Python.
Oh.
And I was like, I'll give him the short answer. The short answer is because he's a Mel Brooks fan. So,
well, it's not even Mel Brooks. It's like I even as a kid, I just never liked British accents. So it was the combination between the British accents and even as a kid, I thought their comedy was just dumb. It was just kind of retarded. I didn't like that. It was just kind of like, you know, should we go again? Maybe it's still going underneath of it.
Yeah. So it's not your cup of tea.
No, not my cup of tea.
Sorry.
So, but what was funny is I did like Benny Hill, but I think I liked Benny Hill because he had like half-naked girls on there most of the time. Yeah, I think that was it.
Snook in Florida, the best time to chase them. I guess that would depend on where in Florida.
Well, I like my area. I fish in Jupiter. September mullet runs, spring mullet run. But I fish a lot of the time around mangroves for snook. And I'm kind of aggressive with my snook fishing, so I jerk it.
Can you see those things swimming around like them up in the mangroves?
Yeah. Depends on the depths of the water, and if they're really shallow in the river, they look like white shadows sometimes. So.
I imagine they're elusive in there like a trout is.
They're kind of striperish.
Yeah?
Really, from my perspective as...
They got a big, wide, ugly striper mouth.
And they
nothing ugly about them.
They got like a wide, like, pipe, like, weird jaw.
But from my perspective, coming from Virginia and then trying to catch those things when I was on my tour, it was closer to striper fishing than it was speck fishing. I was trying to do them, speck fishing, we do a swimming retrieve, you know, slow, kind of, you know, presenting it kind of on a little bit slow. With stripers, you want a crazy, erratic, you know, jerky, injured bait look to them and structure. So that's, as soon as I figured that out in Florida, that's when I started catching snook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of sometimes do something where I do it really slow across the top and then just do little pops here and there and get them excited. But it always seems to do things aggressively with them, and it works for me.
On top water?
Just use, well, my curl tail, and I hold the stick high, you know. You follow me.
Yeah, I saw your technique, and I was like, all right.
You're like, what the hell? Hey, it works for me. That's all there is to it.
Yep. So, okay, so
this?
What?
This, what you're talking about? Like,
yeah, no. Okay, I'm gonna get into it as we get into the tournament. It's really cool how our different styles worked for us catching fish. I mean,
yeah.
it was right. You know, so okay, we get in the tournament. We're on the tournament day. There's a fucking lunar eclipse. So we got a lunar eclipse. We have a storm coming. We have a storm front that's coming. It was supposed to be overnight. The wind was already supposed to be blowing. Are they still saying it's going?
Shane is still commenting on text messages.
Sure
Nobody said they haven't.
Okay.
It looks like it. I keep switching back and forth to freshen it up. But I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's me looking. Shane's taking screenshots of me trying to figure out if this shit's working or not.
All right.
Or no, that's not. Maybe that's not. Oh, these are old screenshots. These motherfuckers are crazy.
Should I have something today?
Yeah. No, I'm sure that's Phil.
Yeah. All right,
oh my god.
Yeah, he was there. I got to hang out with him.
Yeah.
So, all right, so we launch, and you can see in those launch pictures that it's fucking dead calm. Like the storm is like right. The tail end of the storm is right there coming at us. I mean, so we launch, and 5 minutes the wind hits, the wind wall hits, and there's no real rain. There's little spritzes. Like we're right at the tail end of this thing we saw on the radar, but it's enough. It blows 20. It blows right off of 15 right off the bat from the north, and we're paddling south, right? And then by the time we get our token down here 4 miles away, which took like 15 minutes.
Right. Coming in hot. Here we come.
Dude, we weren't even paddling. It was one of these.
Man, because you were telling me there's not a ton of current down there, and we're used to paddling even with the current and with the wind. It's not the same as with no current and with the wind. You know what I mean?
There was an outgoing current when we started that in the morning, right? There was the outgoing current, but then the wind picked up, and then the current just stayed going out all day long.
Right.
All this water was just getting pushed out.
Right.
Yeah. So we had, but it wasn't that much of a current. And we got to the spot, we got our token, and we just went right to this corner, just to kind of almost just to get our bearings because it was fucking blowing 30 at this point. It was
brutal. Yeah.
It was easy, like 20, 25 with gusts of 30 during that time. And we're there, and we saw, as soon as we saw 2 people, I think, come back. And that means with their token, that means they caught fish already. And we're like, fuck, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, we need to move. We need to go around this corner because that's where the fish were being caught the day before, and let's go see this area over there. So as we're going, the losers are up, and Chris is fucking smiling. Fucking big ass smile on her face. I'm like, God damn.
Our people.
Yeah, I'm like, damn. And she's like doing this and shit. I'm like, ah. And the guy was like, got a big one. I'm like, fuck. All right. So now I'm like, fuck, we're sucking already. Like, I'm already at the Lee mode where I'm like, we're sucking.
We suck. That's why I don't do tournaments, because I suck instantly.
That is the worst part, is watching freaking people coming in with the fish, and you're still fishing, and you're getting pissed, and you're like, God. And so anything you got to do to get a fish. That's all there is.
Like, it's a CPR though. With the token.
Yeah, we got a token. Yeah,
right.
and she's got it all worked out with it. Token's in the pouch, so it's not getting blown out.
Right,
To the thing. She had that system down. So we go around this corner, and we inch up, and I'm sitting in the mud, and we're fishing this little bit deeper hole, and I'm getting off the mud, and just inching off, pushing off, and the guy comes in there, and he says, "Did you get stuck?" And I go, "Yep." And I say, "Yep, we suck." And I was like, "Oh, what'd you say?" He said, "Oh, did you get stuck?" I goes, "Oh yeah, no, I was just mudded up, but we suck too." I was already there. I was like, "Fucking Jesus!" And so we get around this corner, and I'm paddling until I see this grass. I'm paddling, I'm paddling in I'm 4 feet, and I see this grass, and it's scattered about, and I come over here. Now, Tony, her boyfriend, gave me a push pole, which is the first time I got to use one, which is awesome because that's all. It was nothing over 5 feet there.
Right.
So yeah. So I push pole off, and I start making my rips, and I rip one through and let it fall down, and right when I rip again, there's one on it, and in this grass, these things feel 100 pounds, right?
Right. Oh yeah, they wrap the grass all around the line.
So I get him in, and we're stoked. And actually, it was funny because I'm fighting them, and the wind's, and I come off the anchor because I don't want them to get around, and or the push pole.
Because we hate anchors and push poles.
But the wind was pushing me, so the fish was always getting blown over top of the fish,
right?
Like your flounder that day, right?
Right.
So I'm getting up. She's stabbing at me with the net. I'm like, no,
get away.
She's like, here, I'm like, fuck that.
I don't want to lose a fish at all costs.
I know, but
that's right. Give him a net and watch what happens. Poke, stab, poke. I mean, he does a better job filleting. Oh, yeah. I mean, the net is more of a fillet knife for us.
Well, she saw me on the second fish, like, do a pro, just suck that fish in and look around like this and shit, So I get that one in, get him underneath my boat, get him in, and he's a 22-incher, something like that. So we're good.
Red, not a bass.
Right. So we're really looking for reds because of length, right? Right. Now, in hindsight, we should have stayed there and tried to upgrade to one of those 28 inches because this was a double pointer. This was number 5, or whatever. This was a double pointer. Right, so that means if you catch a fish here, it's double the length. So we should have probably, that was in hindsight, that was the one thing we probably should have stayed and maybe inched up or so. Right.
I'm kind of okay with that one. we'll move forward, and I'll tell you. You'll know where I have a problem with.
Old hooks.
No, we're good on that. So, all right, so we're at least we're in the game at this point, right? And we're like next checkpoint. We're moving to the next checkpoint. And was my water over there?
Yeah, you better drink your water.
I had to keep reminding her to drink water all day long. We had to work there really hard. That's coming too. So we're off to the next checkpoint, and you know, she's got her GPS stuff going, and I'm going with the maps and all that stuff. The wind's got us going. We're talking, and I'm not paying that much attention, and I almost take us around the wrong way. Just because the wind's moving us fast, I was just yapping away, and but she saves it by going, "Aren't we supposed to be going this way?" And then I look up in there, and there's kayaks coming through, and was like, "Yeah, we are." But this is like straight in the headwind, so
right.
It's headwind and 6 inches of water, so there's no waves. It's
right.
just and in our boats. I mean, she's riding a Prowler, an old Prowler 13, and I'm riding the Ultra 4.3.
You like the Prowler 13 still?
I do. I actually pulled it out a few weeks ago, my old one, to kind of give it a test. And I immediately went to South River Outfitters, and Ed let me use one for this tournament, a newer model, because mine's like the old one. And I was happy as hell. It moved out.
Did you paddle? Did she paddle your? Has she paddled
we didn't try each other's boats. We were the first day we were meaning to do that when we didn't do it. I just realized we didn't do that.
It's really similar to. Oh, you had a 15 though.
No, she had 13.
The Prowler 13?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The 4.3 is really similar.
Yeah.
Really similar.
In the way it rides and feels. But with that wind, we were just moving right along. No, you know, we were moving right along. People in the high gunnel boats, the paddling boats were having problems. The pedal boats were having not an issue when they were in deeper water. They were fine. A lot of this trail was in the deeper water. So we go to the next checkpoint, and boom, we get our token. We go right back to the kind of the same area, and here's where our fishing differences, right? I go for that deeper water. She's up closer to the shoreline. Basically, you know, we're 20 yards away from each, maybe 50 yards away, not even that far, but we're close enough for yelling distance, right? And she's using, was it quarter ounce? She got it.
Yep, 16 ounce.
16 ounce.
And my little curl tail.
That's all she's using. No, not wee list, because she's over, and she's spinning rod tip way up, doing like this, right over top of everything. You know, just like.
I mean, that's what you do bass fishing when you want to keep the stuff, keep lures right over top of that grass that's almost at the top.
Yep.
That was what I wanted to do.
Yep. So I'm over there ripping, and she's.
I mean, they're gonna come blasting out of that grass at one of those two techniques.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly, and that's why it works so well, because we find the same spots.
Buzzbait.
Well, my inline I was trying for, and it just didn't. It wasn't happening for me. So I went to my step, and she went right to her stuff. And on the first checkpoint, she had a moment of changing lures.
Yeah.
She like threw something, took it off, and changed it on it, and then we're right back to her go-to, and we didn't mess with it for the rest of the day. That was it. So at this checkpoint, we're there 5 minutes. We weren't there that long.
Yeah, way.
We weren't there that long, and bam, she gets a good one, right? And so I paddle over to her and just to watch, and this thing's. But when I get to her, it's on its maybe second roll around and a run, and I see the run, and it's I'm like, ooh, so I back off a little bit and I'm shooting.
She got a gator hooked up. Gator.
No, thank you.
She gets it up and it moves, and it hits the surface. I'm like, okay, that's a good one, right? That's a real good one. And she gets it close to the net. She gets it in the net, and as soon as it gets over the net, I'm like, fuck, that's a 28. That's one of those. That's one of those 28, 29. That's in that range. And damn sure it was like 27 3/4. Yeah, fat.
It was a fatty.
Yeah. If this is weight scales, this is it would have been a good weigher.
I mean, isn't 27 3/4 right at the bottom of the? I mean, isn't that almost as big as they can be in the slot?
But there's no slot. I think
no. I'm saying if it was keeper season.
Keeper size,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't keep them either. I don't know.
I think down there you can keep one over.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah. But there was what was interesting on about these reds that what we understood was these don't go anywhere. these aren't ocean runners. And I think the guide said there are some ocean runners, there were bigger ones that were on the outside, but they don't, I guess, don't come that far in. So these get to that 42 inch range, you know, and I think that's about, that sounded like the big ones. When their local was talking about the big ones, it was like that range. Huh. So which is interesting because just think about these. When I was catching, I was looking at it, I was like, wow, he stays here. He stays here. He doesn't like ours. Go on these crazy adventures where they go in the ocean and they deal with tunas and
right.
You know,
we found this out with Ken a few weeks ago.
Our fish go on, our reds go on like these amazing adventures.
He's like, yeah, they're out. Some of them are in here in the bay, and other ones at the same time are out there like where we're catching tunas.
Yeah.
He's like, it's so weird he's like, it's so weird to even be thinking that like we're driving over some of these marks and they could be drum now. You know what I mean? And that's why we're like, these are tunas and we're not getting bites. And they're not tunas, they're drum. And you're not getting ready to get a bite going 7 knots at the surface from a drum.
But yeah,
I think that's kind of what we work so well together. Is we have completely different strategies, and for some way we were able to just bring them together and really get it to click well. I think so.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think I thought the fishing. That's why, and it was cool because it was like, you know, she's got her technique, she got it down. I ain't gotta say shit to nobody. Both of us are on that level where we're just fishing. You know, it was good. Now we land that one and. Now we're happy because we got a decent sized fish on, and I remember the guy coming up and I was like, yeah, I was smiling, hey, what's up, you know, and we were saying something about, we got a good one, and he's like registering like a 13 inch something, and just the look on his face was like, oh, you know, it was like, I felt bad paddling away, but then again I was like, ha,
yeah.
All right, so we go in this canal here, right? Okay, so here. We get this is where that second checkpoint is, and we're going up this canal. This next checkpoint is here.
Straight into the north wind.
Well, north, enough. But so we got a straight shot, and we get going, and we look up, we see ahead, and it looks like white, and we're like, what the fuck is that? And we start seeing it's a wall, and we like looking at the map a little bit harder, and there's a wall there. I mean, there's a wall. Where is it at? You can see it on this one. It's not this one. Yeah, here. You can kind of see it right there. So there's
Portage.
Yeah, and at this point she's like, she has second thoughts. I'm like, and right now I'm getting excited because like, wow, they're putting us through some shit. Right, this is where I start getting into this tournament where I'm like, they're putting us through some shit now. I like this shit a lot. And so she's like trying to figure out ways around it. She's like, no, we got to go over this thing. This is why we go this way. We got to go over this thing. And I was like, after we were paddling to it, she was like, I don't know. I said, fuck it. You know, just pick up speed. We're going to Dukes of Hazzard this motherfucker. We're going to just fucking jump it. We get there and Hobie guys are, you know, pro anglers going over the wall. Ka-doom, ka-doom, ka-doom. Another guy with this giant boat, but he was cool. With this guy, he's a local. And he told us about this one, and then the next one up, there was just a wood barrier, wood wall, but it had enough room for our size boats to get through, like the ships. So it was just like getting through. So that was cool, and you know, he was cool, and but everybody got over, and that was like the first like little teamwork challenge of moving boats, right? And that's why it's there. Right, that's why these obstacles are. That's why they put us through that spot.
The portage.
Yeah, even just open over this wall. It's about a 4 foot wall. Is that how big it was?
Yeah, with mud and alligators.
Yeah.
Everybody's always worried about these alligators.
Yeah, well, you weren't there.
All right, so we land and we got, you know, she's got a rope on about like how I have my long rope, my long handle. She's got one just like that too. So we get in, she gets up the top, and we push over, and it's easy. Tie the rope in, let it slide right back in the water, move that over, get my boat over. We're over and we're like, fuck yeah! We just, you know, this is like a little challenge. We're all high-fiving and shit. We're paddling along, and here comes that other wall. And I'm like, no problem. We just get right through it. Now, come to find out later how Rogowski and them, they went like around because they didn't know they can get through. That guy gave us a little tip, but even I was not going to stop. I was going to go that way and see.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to see if I can get through no matter what. And but yeah, so that was cool. And then we get to the third checkpoint, and we check in, we take a little break, and we kind of mess around with the shallow water, and then I'm looking around. We're in real shallow water. I mean, like scraping the bottom shallow. And I'm looking around, and I see the crab pots across the way. So I was like, let's go over here. You know, we've been catching them, that type of area. I paddle. As soon as I see that grass, paddle a little bit more, stake off. She goes right up to the shallow water, stakes off, and we're casting, and she catches a bass right there, right?
Yep.
Yep.
It was in the shallows, right up in the shallows.
It was a smaller one, though, right? Wasn't it?
I put it on the board just in case. I think it was about 15.
That was that big? Oh shit!
I think so.
I would have came and taken a picture of that. I thought it was smaller than that. I would have came and taken a picture of that one.
Oh, something bigger.
Women.
That's right.
All right, so we anchor off, and I'm ripping through, and she catches that bass. I'm like, all right, good. We got fish here, we got action here, and then I hook one, right? And this was like, boom, he goes in the grass. I bring him up, I ski him, I go shoot, and just suck him in. Yeah, it's just like that. Like, I think one of the guys over here just like saw me hook boat over, and then look back, and I was standing there like this, like, yeah. And she comes over. It was a 22, 3, another in that range, you know, in that range again. So so we're good. So now we've got like almost 4 hours left in the tournament, and we've already hit our three checkpoints.
We hit 3 checkpoints.
Yeah.
3 fish.
Yep, and we're heading north now. The next one,
Big man.
yeah. The next one. So we're here. The next one is out here.
Oh, so you didn't ever have to go.
No, we didn't. It was all in this little. Yeah. See, look. We're here.
Yeah. My friend's here.
So yeah, hold it still for a second. So we're here. Now the next one is here, or we have one here, and this is a double pointer. Okay, so we get here, and we got 4 hours, man. This is like 4 miles. I know we can get there. We got a lake right here. We're gonna have some of that deep water, and we're gonna, we'll be able to make it back. The winds are dying at this point too.
Right.
We still got a little bit of winds, but the winds are dying.
Backside of the storm.
Yeah, all that stuff. The sun's actually coming out. It's actually getting nice. So we start paddling, and then we double think this is a double checkpoint. Right? Yeah, cool. Right there. Yeah, this is a double checkpoint. So we're right here. We're like, all right, we'll come back. And we get up and go, we have to cross 200 yards, and so we start crossing. All right. Yeah. So you can put it down, Gene. You can put it down. See where it was. So yeah. So we start. We don't have our wheels for one. We have everything you have to have right at 7 o'clock when you open your map is what you take with you. You can't get any extra stuff, right? We've got wheels in the truck. It just didn't have them. So we at this point we're like
one in each hand.
No, it was awkward. It was too awkward. She doesn't have the stern because it's a brand new boat. She hasn't rigged it up that way. Yeah. So we land. Okay, we have to make a decision because this is like if we commit to this, we have to commit to this, or we can go on this paddle, right? And this is we're going across 200 yards, man, and of gravel, right? So So we're like, okay, we're doing this, and we don't even go and look where we're going. We just know we have to go that way, right? We just have to go over there because that's over there. There's a creek there's a ditch that runs behind the island there. So we unload our boats, water's on our backpacks, carrying everything heavy, and we start like carrying boats. I mean, like carrying them however we can, and we drop off my boat like towards about 100 yards in. We start moving your boat because it's a little bit lighter, it's fucking a lot lighter, and then we realize there's grass over here. So we're like, fuck, we'll just drag. We're just like, it's nice grass, no big deal. And which basically on land. And
double call.
So we this was after we'd already tortured ourselves by dragging and trying to get halfway.
Yeah.
Before we realized it was grass.
Yeah, before it's grass, and we go, oh shit, that type of thing. So I drag my boat. She gets on. Her rope should wrap around her waist and pull it like that. So she starts pulling, and I'm pushing on behind the boat. Just move. Boom, we make it right. And we get to the grass, and this is like a drop off to the ditch, right? So I no problem slide right my boat in, and she's like, I don't know, I'm gonna try to find a different spot, right? I'm like, I was laughing because we were gonna launch off the dock on Friday, and they didn't want to because it was too far of a drop. And I was like, you know, you probably need to learn how to do this.
All you can do is stand up in the boat.
Right? So I'm like laughing.
I learned, didn't I?
Yeah. What was fun? I was laughing, going, "See, you couldn't learn how to do this shit yesterday, right?" I'm getting busting her balls and shit, right? So I get in, and the guys ahead of us go paddle forward and go, "Oh, there's an easier launch right here." It slides down right into the water. So she gets over there, and
I don't ever have a problem launching like that though.
No, me either. But yeah, because But
we put my boat on the. Remember when we put my boat on the lift at the marina?
Yeah. One of those lifts, man.
We loaded my kayak down on the marina lift into the water, and I got onto it off the floating dock. Just stood up onto it.
I like for a reason.
All right, so we make it.
Then we paddle. Hold on. Then we paddle down a ditch.
Yeah.
In McElroy.
Yeah, we're in. 1 minute we're in pristine marsh grass that is fucking endless, dude. The ocean, the Gulf is way the fuck out here on this map. We like way the fuck out there. So we're in this pristine natural environment. Now we're in a literal ditch with shit like bike tires and shit, paddling in a ditch. Right, and we see the checkpoint up ahead. So it's just like we're in the ditch, and the whole time I'm thinking they just put us in a gator ditch. Right? It's like where gators would hang out, I would think. So we're paddling through a gator. Every time I hit something, I'm like, fuck! Fuck! I'm not going to spook nothing up on top of me, right? That's all I'm worried about. So we get to the end and we see the last checkpoint, and we have to pull boats up and over a berm into this water over here. Right? So it's up and over a berm.
Yeah.
Get our coin, and we start going, and this. We should have went there first because there was no water and dropping in this area. All this wind, all this is pulling it out, and it's almost like fresh water. I mean, I really like fresh water in this spot. Yeah. It's because it's more tucked up in there, and she's seeing red spook off, and there's jumping mullet. There's also gar in that area, so I was confused of what I was actually seeing. When
does gar count? They got real.
No, they don't.
Legs.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. There's some big ones in there too. But most of the size we were seeing were this big. But I did see I did spook one thing that did act exactly like a red. It did a triangle tail shot and got out, so that was, I was thinking it was a red. We go to this area and I'm like, I see crab pots over there. I just want to get in the deeper water, but as we get to it, the crab pots are out of the water. So I'm like, holy shit. So this whole little segment as we're going, I'm starting to lose confidence. Because
Jeff Gregory wants to know, were you in a fishing tournament or a level in the game Doom?
Yeah, that's what this feels like.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
and that's why it's so badass.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you'll see tomorrow.
I mean, I knew the whole time you were talking about it. I knew I was like, dude, this is your type of thing. I mean, like, this is because we don't tournament fish. It's not.
Yeah. But not only with the navigation that I love, but the obstacles and the teamwork shit that they put into it. That was the shit. Because we felt we were high as fuck when we came over that wall and high-fiving. We were like, fuck yeah! I mean, we just did something together like that, got our shit over a wall, like nothing, too. Just boom, gone.
Yeah, it was a damn good feeling, I have to say. It was really good. So you were getting a little bit worried at that fourth checkpoint, and he's like eating and drinking and trying to keep up with his hydration and shit, and I'm like, fuck that! I'm just like,
Well, the thing was, I had lost all my confidence in that water too. I had all my confidence was gone. I was no deep water. Any fish that I was seeing, I couldn't tell if it was a mullet, gar, or a red, or a bass, because I did see bass spook out from under me, right?
Dude, it's everything.
Yeah, so I'm like, I can't figure out what the fuck I can do here. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm eating. She's casting.
I'm eating.
But you're eating, and you're the one who has the camera guy following you all over the place.
Yeah, and I'm like talking like shit, like underneath my breath, like talking like a crazy person, just so it's, half talking to him and half talking to myself and and then she hooks up. Right? Then she hooks up. And he goes scooting over there. I'm like, all right, phew, at least something. And it's like a 13-inch bass, right? So we're on a board, and this is a double spot. So here's where it relieved me because, yeah, we could have paddled over here and caught a 22-inch red. She just caught a 26-inch fish by a 13-inch fish in a double spot, right? So that's where it was like, okay, all that anxiety that I was having and all that, the shallow water's fucking killing me, was gone because she just put us on a board with what we basically would, probably bigger than what we would have caught at this other spot. You know, so I was feeling good about that. And here's the thing about the teamwork thing was also when I was feeling down, I wasn't bitching, I wasn't like openly down, but I was just like, oh fuck, she just keep going. She just keep going. And she did the same thing about me earlier. I was just like, we just go. And later on I mentioned to her, it's like, that is the same way we fish on the Eastern Shore for reds. We just go until that we still have sunlight, we just keep fucking paddling.
Yeah, you know? Ups, downs,
all around, just all day long too. Yeah, and that was. But you motivated me when I was losing my motivation, and that was what was awesome. I love that. That was good. That helped me out. Yeah. Yep. So we're on the board. We land and we land on the.
So you decide to just go back and check this fish in.
Yeah. 13 now. Okay. Yeah. We should. Actually. She makes.
This is where I have a problem.
Hold on.
Okay. You catch more bass right there. She's catching a lot more bass. I mean, but they're small, like 10 inchers. Okay.
I'm not happy. Now, after all said and done, this is the part that bothers me, is we should have stayed out there. What the hell were we thinking? We should not have left that spot until we had at least a 26-inch fish on.
or like at least a 20-inch fish gets you 40 inches.
Right. I mean, we still had like I think 2 hours. No, we still had probably an hour left.
Yeah.
And you got like a ways to go because you want to get to all the checkpoints.
No, you don't have to. You have to get the 3. And now here's the thing about one team did get the 5 checkpoints, but they didn't win because it was inches. Now
gotcha.
Because if it was a 5 checkpoints and you win, it would have been all navigation. This is strategy. If you got to get to 3 checkpoints, you have to get the 3.
You want to use both double checkpoints.
Yeah, you have. So that means you have to get to those. And they're both at far ends of the course.
Right.
And where do you stay and pick up more points? Where do you go and try to keep going? Where do you try to pick up another checkpoint, or do you try to upgrade? All that strategy comes into play, along with the navigation and all that stuff. So that was where it was. That's where it was cool. That was interesting. We didn't have to get this one, but we had to get 3, and we wanted to get 4.
Yeah. And we sat there pondering that black checkpoint versus the one in I like to say the ditch.
Yeah.
You know, it was a stretch. You know, we were struggling with that for about 5 minutes, and it was just like, let's just go, let's just hit the ditch, and what we thought was something nice. I'm actually glad we did that one, because that was like the most exciting, challenging thing that we did, even though it frustrated the hell out of us.
No, it was because it was tough. Because it was the long drag. Now, on our way back, we had our system. We one boat at a time. She would wrap a rope around her waist forward. I hooked on to the back and would pull from the back. So we
have to end up somewhere.
Yes, we had to end up back at the checkpoint by the launch in in the square.
Oh,
in the square by. So we're making it back. And we had an hour and a half. We had time to spare, which we could have stayed in there. Now, for me in that spot, it was still, the water was going lower and lower, and I was like actually thinking we might not be able to squeeze out of that area a little bit. I had a little bit of that going on.
Because if you don't get back,
you done.
That's it.
Yeah.
DQ.
Yeah, all the way. Even though you had 5.
Doesn't matter how many.
You're not in this square when we.
So
started.
what kind of boats were the guy in that got all 5 checkpoints?
They're probably in Hobies or.
Were they in Hobies? I mean, it's got to be.
Pedal drivers are doing okay because the
most
gears,
of the water is deep enough and you can go fast.
And the wind's not affected because they have gears that are not physically really hurting themselves that bad to push into it. Yeah.
It was Team Show Me the Money. Ryan, LeVay, and Shane. Kenta, Joe. I'm not sure what they're in though.
Yeah.
But they hit all 5, and they got fish at all 5.
What was their points?
Total 131.75.
Yeah.
What did you guys have?
What was ours? 122.
Oh no, they had 123. Ours was 122.75.
Yeah. So it's just a few now. What was the top? What was the winners?
146.75.
Yeah, it means upgrading fish.
That was upgrading at both double checkpoints.
Right. Or yeah. Well, they have the thing right there.
They had they had some nice fish, 28.25-inch fish at a double checkpoint, and they had another one that was 22.5 at a double checkpoint. I mean,
big fish at double checkpoints. That's how you do. That's the
strategy.
Yeah.
That's the strategy. Yeah.
You just have to be sure that you can get to the other checkpoints, because if you don't hit those 3, you're screwed. So.
Right.
It's interesting, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, and you don't get the map until that morning.
Right.
I mean, 7 o'clock, lunchtime. Open up, and we're like, okay.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Now, I'm thinking.
I'm very happy. I mean, we kicked out.
Yeah. Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
But, you know, after you're done, you kind of start thinking more about how you did things and the strategies. And that one for me, it's that last checkpoint for me. We should have stayed.
Yep. Yeah. I agree with you there. For me, it was I was shooting for top 5. I mean, honestly, right? That's what I was shooting for. I mean, that was what I was shooting for. Top 10. Fuck yeah. And especially the way this course, I'm just happy. It's like one of those Tough Mudder things or something.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's really doing it and getting it done and doing it, you know, to your best of your ability. And that's I came off of that feeling like that. Especially at the end, we're dragging our boats in that teamwork method. I mean, it was awesome because she's dragging from the front and I got a rope on the back and I'm just even with her, you know, just because if I pulled too hard, it would, you know, it was even technique in that shit. So that was what was cool.
Yep.
But for me, I think now, knowing with the wind and the water was going to drop out, I would have gone reversal. I would have worked my way south, and with the wind dropping out, we would have had an easier paddle back come back in that sense. So I would have gone that double checkpoint in the ditch first, maybe going to outside, because the route, the way they had it, was it could be done from that double checkpoint around in a circle back up, like this, and we did it kind of the opposite way.
Right.
So that's way especially with the wind. I mean, we would have had crosswinds, we would have been dealing with it, but we would have eventually been working out with the wind. And that first spot where you caught the bass, we would have been in much deeper water, you know. And I think we would probably be easier to find reds in there, because guys were finding reds in there earlier. Yeah.
And it was slightly closer to drag it there than from the water, so.
Yeah. Yeah, up and over the ramp and over the street was hard enough, and then we have, there's 200 yards.
And we'd already been paddling all the day and hauling over rocks and shit, and then we go do that. So, yeah, it would have been nice if we did that first.
Yeah. Yep. But I think that's my only hindsight is that, and of course, you know, trying to get your best fish at the double checkpoints, which, you know, spend more time. Yeah, and even then, we just an inch more would have gave us 2 inches. You know, would have jumped us up a little bit more. So yeah.
You would have gone around the guys that got off at checkpoints had you had just an inch bigger at a double checkpoint.
Yeah. What was the Jackson guys? What team were they?
I don't want to talk about it. All we needed was 1 inch.
1 inch to get them.
How the Losers did good, didn't they?
Yeah. Where'd the Losers do?
Team Double L.
They were in 18th.
Yeah. Yep. So yes.
93.75.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah. With that really nice red shit that she caught, so.
Well, she was smiling, and I was like, God, I was happy
was
for her.
Was that the first double?
Yeah!
Yeah. That was the first double checkpoint? Yeah.
Fuck yeah! We hadn't caught a fish yet. Hadn't had a hit yet. I was like, man, I'm all pro out here, and I'm fucking sucking it bad. I'm like, this is embarrassing. God damn. This is gonna suck.
Well, they're also professionals as well.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. I'm not comparing to them. I'm just saying anybody out there, right? Anybody.
The Losers are professionals.
Along with the professionals, the pros are getting it, and I can't get it. Fuck, goddamn, this is terrible. We're fucking sucking. And once we got the fish, I was like, woo! I was all right after that.
We all got our asses handed to us at some point or another in this tournament.
Yep.
So do you have the token? Did you bring the token?
Yeah, I have it at home, but no,
what?
I have it at home. Well, I have it taped up on the wall. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I have mine. I have that map.
Yeah,
I have a map up, and I have it taped up with the map with the scale, and have it all. Like I already put it up.
I would be proud of that too.
Yeah. And they were giving it away at the end. Now here's what's funny at the end, right? So, well, they want us to, all the top 10s. They want to do interview for their video, right? Yeah. So we're sitting there, and everybody's really stiff. Like he's got everybody real close, and the lights everyone on us. Everybody's like really, yeah, we had this day, and it was a really good day. It was a really interesting course. It was, you know, really stiff and this and that. And then even Jeff Herman, he's a good friend of mine.
Right.
I love seeing him. I mean, it was just like the closest I get to fish with him. And but even he was doing his thing, but it still wasn't. It wasn't up there, right? I'm sitting out. We're just sitting there on the bench waiting our turn. I look at her going, I'm gonna cuss on this thing. And she was like, what? I was like, I'm gonna go off on this. I smile at her. And I get on that thing and go full blown like podcast style on it. I mean,
dude, this was awesome.
Yeah,
What the
I mean,
fuck?
full on.
Like,
Even talked about the, you know, we're gonna Dukes of Hazzard this motherfucker on it. Yeah. You know, and the camera guy loved it. He was cracking up, and he was like, yeah, because he has been through all these like stiff videos.
Right.
He's like, oh, I gotta edit all this stuff, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna give him something to have fun with. So I was like,
right.
I let it out. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
We're used to things like that, though. I went. Go ahead.
That he was very animated. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
I turned it on.
Yeah.
I turned it right on.
Oh yeah.
I almost said the F word on Reese's show this week, but I stopped myself at 5. Dude, I almost dropped the F-bomb on Reese's AM radio show.
Morning fishing radio.
I went
show.
to
Oh man.
yeah. Me and Damien taped the Reese's show and did
Yeah. That was Saturday morning. Yeah.
almost dropped the F-bomb on Reese's show.
And it's hard because we've gotten so used to this format where we don't have to.
Oh no, I was so good. That was one time, and it was like almost towards the end.
He just loosened up. You loosened up just that little bit.
Yeah, we're talking about those tuna stories.
Yeah.
I'll get into that when Billy's here tomorrow, man.
Yeah.
We've been on Skype a long time already too.
How long have we been on? What time is it?
An hour and
Okay.
Well, those
hour and
guys,
6 minutes
they
so far.
really kicked butt. Can you hear me?
Say again. Yep.
Yeah, they really kicked butt putting this tournament together. Every year they have done something fantastic. You know, little things happen and they pick it up and they make it work the next year. And I love it. I'm ready to go back again.
Yeah.
I would prefer it was closer. I don't want to drive 14 freaking hours again, but whatever.
Yeah, the drive was rough. Now
Was it 14 for you?
Yeah, it was same. Yeah, it sucked. It sounds like it's going to be in Texas the next one. That's where they're sort of pushing for, you know. So
You're gonna have to fly. And
I want to fly.
Contact. You just have to contact dealers and
we're yeah.
Get demo boats.
I'm pretty sure Ocean Kayaks is already want to send us because we did a good job. We just had to beat the guys that beat us right above us. We just got to beat those guys next time.
is there going to be a film from the tournament?
Yes, there is. They filmed us on the water. They filmed. Yeah, it was funny because when we were on the water, they come off on us with the interview, and I was just like, "You got it. I'm not fucking talking. I'm in the fucking game mode here. I'm not." Right. But I was like, "I'll get the ending."
Right. Let me close it out.
So yeah, they were doing interviews all through the thing. Yeah.
I had to ask them to turn it off. Remember, because we came in from the one checkpoint, and you forcing me to drink freaking water.
Yeah.
And remember, I went, shut that thing off. I have to go find a bathroom right now. Everybody, all the guys need to turn around. Done. I'm not waiting.
That's what sucked. It was like, yeah, you were at a checkpoint. You had to pee. Yeah, because I was making you drink water. It wasn't hot, but it was like we were exerting enough energy. You weren't drinking enough water, so I was like, okay, you start drinking water now. Yeah. But yeah, you had to go right there with guys turning their backs and cameras, and this is the checkpoint, and it was like, yeah. But you were fast at it. I'll tell you what, you were fast.
Gotta get it done.
It was fast. It was quick draw.
Oh my god.
All right. Hey, Lee.
Coming.
Yeah, see if there's any questions on here. Now, he reads the questions because I can't see the questions.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
My girlfriend just got home, so I went up to say hi.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So, what do we want? Look, questions?
Yeah, anything on?
No, the last question was about the film.
Right.
For the tournament, and the rest is meme war with
A meme war.
good old Delacroix Joe. Where did you come from? Where did you go?
Yeah, that was the going song. And she got to hang out with Rogowski that night. Rogowski kept saying, "I'm J drunk."
Oh, how close to the shore can you catch togs?
Oh
Man, I've caught them around the first small boat channel. Man, you gotta find pilings with rocks at the bottom of them. If you're not comfortable all the way at the first island, you probably shouldn't just be fishing the bridge. I mean, get yourself comfortable. I mean, if you don't think you can go to the first island, you probably shouldn't be messing around in any open water.
yeah, I caught my first one at HRBT.
Oh yeah, that's true too. HRBT.
Small. I caught HRBT.
I've caught them at the
Ships.
ODU Reef.
Ships. Yeah, Rodeo Reef.
The
Ships
ships.
are
Oh man,
Yeah, be next.
I should go to the
yeah.
ships tomorrow.
Mhm.
Actually, I should actually go to the ships tomorrow.
I'm doing it as soon as I get a wind, I can do it. Yeah.
It's gonna be east tomorrow. I should talk to somebody and go to the ships tomorrow.
All right, that was a local question. Any questions for Gene?
No, I didn't. Oh, we got one more. We are not fishing the shad shootout in Richmond this Saturday.
No.
No.
Cool.
I'm ready to come there.
We've been trying to get you to come. You can fly up. We got boats for you. Just bring bring whatever seat you want to bring, and
Ship your fishing rods.
Ship your fishing rods
Because flying them is way more expensive than shipping them.
and they fuck them up. Yeah, ship them actually if you're gonna do. We've talked about it before, trying to get you up here.
I know.
She was here a couple years ago
For the
boondoggle, and she hooked a red around the bridge. She hooked a nice red at the bridge, and it took her through a piling and then broke off in the next piling. So
that was the biggest red she's ever hooked.
Yes,
I promise.
It sure felt like it.
Those things are monsters around that bridge.
What was so funny is that night we were hanging out, and I was telling her exactly what was going to happen. Like, exactly what was going to happen. Like, this fish is going to do this, he's going to do this, you're going to have to do this, and you're going to have to do it quick, right? I was, like, laying it out. And as it was going, she was like, she knew what to do. It was all running through her head, but it was, like, all, like, with this, with that on. With the monster on. And, I mean, she almost made it into that next one, and it got right around the piling and piled before she even put it out of gear and moved through and all that stuff. Yeah.
Did I go there that night? Was that the night I caught two?
Might have been. No.
Did she catch hers the last day she was here and then leave? And then we fished that evening?
No, it was like the weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was just 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's been 2 years.
Yeah, it was 2012.
But I just remember fighting the fish, and I just hear you yelling and yelling and yelling and cursing behind me. And I finally registered something. And I registered flip the bail. That's all I remember.
Because she was, you can see it in the video,
And she got the big spinner.
Yeah, it's around the piling. You can see that the line's not moving anymore. And I was like, put it right down, flip the bail, put the fucking line right down, flip the bail. And she was like, trying to, one arm paddle forward. I was like, put the bail, put it right. And she did it, and she got through. I was like, woo! She made it. And then she picked it up, and the thing didn't take it right or left. It kept going right to the next piling. I mean, right to the next one. And as soon as it got to it, boom, turned the corner and broke. I mean, it was like, bam, just like that. But I was like, I wanted her to land it so bad, But I really want you to come in the spring, because that's, at least in the depth that a little bit closer you're dealing with, you're used to dealing with, shallow water. It's fun, it's sight casting, yeah, it's a unique area. So I would want you to come in the spring. But now that we've caught them last year, we caught them around the island in the fall, which there was no structure. So that was, yeah. That was a little bit better.
Yeah. Some strange sea monsters around there.
Is the main one on the Eastern Shore?
Yeah.
Is that the one? That's,
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one I've been trying to get you to come up to.
That's like 15 miles of paddling. Am I correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah. It's like the AFWC like
Every day for the whole day you're here.
Oh no.
Camping out in windstorms and rain and lightning and then the sharks move in and it's
I got a whole week this year.
yeah. He's gonna camp out. He doesn't do well camping out. This is gonna be hilarious. I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna love it.
And Kevin goes to bed at like sunset, and I don't be like,
Really? You're out that early?
Well, yeah. When I'm camping, there's no more to see. Once it gets dark, what else is there to do?
go to bed.
Yeah. I don't. There's no campfire. It's summertime. You don't need to stay warm. Yeah. It's yeah. You're gonna wake up at sunrise and get beat up by fish all day long.
Your buddy from Virginia sure didn't like those bugs in Delacroix.
Who?
Massini. Okay, there was they're not mayflies. What are they? They're little.
I don't know.
They look like mosquitoes, but they're not mosquitoes, right? They're around
Right.
marshes and stuff. They were like all over the little lodges, which lodges were cool. They're like little, maybe twice the size of this room, 4 bunk beds, little bathroom, little, nice little easy little thing, nice wood. God, I could live in that thing, But we walked in, there's like these little bugs everywhere, and he's freaking out. He can't, he's freaking out. I'm like, man, they're not mosquitoes, they're not gonna bite you, they're not nothing. They're not even gonna land on you. They just want to hang around the lights and stuff, So yeah, that was funny. But there was no mosquitoes. I didn't get bit by a mosquito at all. There was no seams, a few no seams. And you said you got some shit on your ankles.
Yeah.
Might be from the water.
Oh no.
Might be from the water. I got like a little bit of, I don't know. Yeah.
No, it could be me trudging on my breaks in between checkpoints.
Pee breaks on the marshes, yeah.
That could be what it is. Who knows? Yeah, not good.
Yeah. That wasn't that bad. Well, no mosquitoes though, so that was cool. Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, this has been awesome.
Yeah, this is a good Skype show.
It's a good Skype show.
That was good.
When you start getting some.
So next year?
What's that?
So you're gonna try to do this again next year?
What's that? The tournament?
Absolutely.
Fuck yeah! No, I already told him. Yeah. I already told him we'll beat his buddies for him too. I said basically all you had to do is give me a target. Just give me a target. I'll try to beat him. Yeah, we gotta beat these guys that they're friends with friends, and we gotta.
Right.
Yeah. He was like, if you just would have beat them. I was like, well, you should have told me. Well, we don't know how many inches are out there and all that stuff, but yeah. I beat him on the interview though. I figured if I can't beat these guys on the water, I can beat them in the interview.
That's right. We only speak publicly a little.
All right.
Thanks, Kevin, for being my partner on this. I had a feeling that it would be right up your alley.
Yeah, and thank you for being my partner. You're perfect. It was awesome. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better partner besides this motherfucker here. Yes. So I mean, it was that comfortable fishing with her. It was like fishing with you. I mean, it was awesome. It was really comfortable. We pushed each other without pushing hard. It was good. We were right together on everything we were doing, and yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah, Woody, this is the first thing Woody asked from Native was if I yelled at you at the checkpoint.
I guess her last partner got a little bit of
tongue lashing, maybe.
And we were just like, yeah.
It was very close to 5 o'clock, and you don't risk missing that 5 o'clock deadline. And I was like yelling, I'm like,
she was like whipping the. Oh no, did we lose her right on the yelling spot?
What happened?
Internet connection. Here we go. We're back barely. That's all right.
Muted yelling.
No, it actually came through right as you were moving, so you were like stuck like that.
Awesome screenshots.
Oh God.
All right. Well, yeah. We're partners next year, and we're gonna keep on working this thing until we get up there. So yeah.
That's right.
We got the strategies now. We know what we can do together. We got it. We got it.
You got it.
Awesome.
Yep.
Cool. All right, well, Gene, thank you so much. And, well, we'll probably Skype you in when you start catching some snook. And as soon as I see a picture of a 40-inch snook, we're going to ask about that.
Oh, yeah. Okay, and I'm more comfortable with this now, so I think I'll be all right.
Yeah, she was all being sketchy about it.
People, see, that's what the problem. A lot of people are sketchy. Ryan's sketchy. Matt, we need to get Matt in here.
Yeah.
Matt's got tons of fish stories.
Yeah, yeah.
Matt and I have tons of fish stories together. We don't have to go into shit that he's done. I mean, we've been fishing with Rick and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, but people always are like, but it's easy because it's just like a conversation. Just the Skype thing has a little bit of that lag, but it's not bad.
Yeah, no, it's not too bad, guys. Get on here. You can do it if I can do it. Trust me.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Gene, thank you so much.
Number 49.
We're 49. We're done. And tomorrow we're going to have Rogowski. We're going to have
number 50. And it'll be Regulski, who's been on here a lot.
Plenty of times.
And Massini, who watches every single one he can.
And he's from here. I drove down with them, so we have I have a whole other story about just the place itself. And this is what I'm going to get into with them because I drove with them and we had experience going there, and it was pretty fun. But
yeah, tomorrow if we have problems with the Skype at any point, we got plenty of stories with Billy.
And
should be a real good one tomorrow.
Yeah, cool. All right, Gene. Well, thank you so much.
All right.
We'll see you. And
See
you guys. Check Gene out on Facebook, and we'll see you guys.
Do you have an Instagram?
Yeah. Do you have Instagram and stuff like that?
No.
Okay.
Our Adventure on the Water.
She's in the
pro staff on there, so her page is on there. She got stuff on there, and check her out on Facebook too. All right, later, guys.
Irish Jean Kayak Fishes.
What was that?
Irish Jean Kayak Fishes. That's my Facebook thing. So.
Irish Jean Kayak Fishes. That's her Facebook, so find her there.
All right, later.
Later, guys. Thanks to yakattack.net and oceankayak.com. Thank you, guys.